Good morning, friends. Can you hear me? Good morning to all of you. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. How you all?
Very fine, very fine. How are you?
I'm fine. What about your studies? How they are going on? How your studies are going on?
Forgiveness why some Muslim. So when the first abin da first mutum ya rubuta mu ma muka rubuta.
Yeah,
Hello, good morning.
good morning.
Yes, the studies are going on well.
Okay.
Yes, we are coping up with the studies, even though
Okay.
there and there we are somewhere we are facing some challenges.
Okay. Are you
Yes.
working somewhere or you are studying only?
Sorry.
Are you working somewhere else or you are a student only right now?
I'm working.
You are working.
I'm
Okay.
working while it's studying.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have you read any of the blogs of this course, MDE 413? I think till now only 7 or 8 of you have joined. Should we wait for some time or I think let's wait for another 3 to 4 minutes, then we can begin. Is it okay?
Yes, yes, it's okay. So that we wait for our friends to join.
What is the question?
Pardon? What did you say?
I said it's okay. We wait for others so that they can join us. See?
Yeah, actually, only I think 7 people are there.
Yes, we can wait for others to join also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you gone through any of the blogs?
Not yet, but I just did a browse, but I'm
O-
yet to go
Okay.
through it once more.
Okay. How do you see the counseling? Is it fruitful for you or
Yes, it's a good one, and it's even help to me. I'm
okay?
even enjoying it because it's even helping me. It's even giving me some wins on how to answer the assignments.
Okay.
Yes, the only challenge that I'm facing is the time when we are having some counseling sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I tend to be busy with classes because I'm a teacher by profession.
Yes.
Yes, I tend to be busy with my classes. So
Okay. You are busy with your classes.
yeah, so I rarely attend the counseling sessions. I depend on the recordings.
Okay. But
Yes.
actually, our suggestions to all of you is that you should, at least whenever you get time, try to go through some of the units or the blocks of the courses for which the counselings are scheduled, so that if you have some queries or doubts in your mind based on the assignments or based on the readings that you have done, so that your queries or doubts also can be clarified in the counseling sessions, and that would be more helpful for you as well as for the others also. That's why we say. But yes, definitely you all, maximum of you are working and you don't have enough time to see. But still, whenever you get time or get chance, please go through the material and read some of the persons of the units or courses, so that it will be beneficial in a sense that you can correlate the topic and the content that we are discussing inside the class and the content that you have read, and you can correlate it with the day to day experiences, and the kind of uh, things that you are uh,
Yes.
that's what actually we are thinking, and we always say.
Yes. I think you will try by all means to be following the sessions when we happen to have time, and even to be going through the modules. Yeah, so that
Yes.
will so that will be
Yeah.
studying. Yes, we'll be getting one or two things. Yes, where we find queries, I think we'll be able to ask, yes, or to seek guidance from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as our coordinator, as our tutor.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Michael, can you unmute and say?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Good morning from Ghana.
Good
And I
morning. Good
know
morning.
the time is around 3 p.m. at India.
Yeah.
I think the sessions have been great, but my only difficulty has to do with the timing. It's 9:30 a.m. here, and it's the time we are working.
Okay.
So I'm finding it difficult to join most of the counseling session.
Okay.
And I close around 5 p.m. And when you get to the house, you have to also take responsibility of the household tasks,
Mm-hmm.
and reading becomes difficult. So
Okay.
I'm trying to dedicate 2 hours a day for reading the materials, but it hasn't been easy at all. But we
Yeah,
are trying.
actually, see that is the problem when several countries, and we are joining from India, and you are joining from various countries of Africa, and the international standard time we have to match, and we have to. I think each one of us may need to adjust to some extent, and these are the realities of life, and these are the limitations also. But somewhere, as learners, you have to take time out of your busy schedule, and accordingly, for the classes also, we have to postpone some of our official activities, and to be with you during this afternoon for afternoon classes. These are the things. But anyway, if we are committed to learn something, or if we are committed to achieve something to our studies, then definitely we should look forward and try to give some time. It's very good that you have joined and you are very much interested to know about the things also. That is very welcoming from your side. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, friends, it's already 15:13. That means it's already 13 minutes past, and we are still waiting of our friends who would like to join for this counseling. Let them join. But meanwhile, in the last two sessions of this course, when we had the counselings on 1st of February and on 8th of February, we had discussed about the block 1, that is learner support and introduction, and under which there were 4 units, starting from the learner support system approach, then the basic issues, then the institutional arrangements and models, and developing a self-directed uh, learning or learner, we can say. And after that, today I thought we should discuss more about the block 2, that is development of various skills. Um and then that is on development of various skills. Okay, as I said, this course is completely dedicated for providing uh, learner support services, as such as open and distance learning institutions, and as directorates of distance education, or as dual mode institutions, as per the structure that we had discussed, that may be centralized or decentralized or 2 tier or 3 tier system. But ultimately learners are much more important for any educational institution. And for them, each institution should create some services, uh, we can say, that may be the evaluation support, that may be the material support, that may be any kind of support, counseling support, information services, financial support, or any kind of support that the learners are looking for. But ultimately, as we had discussed about the learners also, who are the distance learners, what are their characteristics, and how do they depend on their learning also, to large extent the self-directed learning or the independent learning that they are doing. These all things we have talked upon in the last two sessions. And we more or less we were talking about different uh, components of self-directed learning and all. Today gradually we will move into the block 2, that is development of various skills. As we all know, when we are talking about the distance learning and distance learners, definitely three things, that is knowledge, skills, and action or application of the knowledge. These three things are more important. And for getting knowledge or for getting skills as learners, we also need certain skills to be developed among our learners. Okay, whenever any student or any learner takes admission for any of the courses or programs through open and distance learning, mostly, as we have talked about and as we have seen, that our learners are the adult learners, and they are very heterogeneous in character. Their learning styles may be different, their backgrounds may be different, their choices may be different. But if they have to achieve the course objectives or the program objectives, then they should have certain skills also. What those skills can be? Those skills can be related to the study skills, reading writing skills, then communication skills, time management skills, stress management skills, problem solving skills, cognitive skills. These are the skills, okay, we are talking about. And in this in today's session, we will be uh, we will be talking about, or we will be covering the first two units, that is on cognitive skills and the study skills as such. Because in open and distance learning, as we say, that our learners are independent learners, they are doing the independent learning or self-directed learning. And here the materials have been provided to the learners, the teachers are inbuilt into the materials, and the students have to do their study on their own. Only they can attend the counseling and tutoring services, and then they have to appear the examinations, then they have to submit the assignment responses. Such things are required on the part of the learners. In that sense, they need certain skills to be developed among themselves, that may be related to the knowledge domain, or that may be related to the affective domain, that may be related to the psychomotor domain. These are the three domains we generally talk about or cover as such in the field of education. And towards that, when we are talking about the knowledge domain, or the when we refer it to the knowledge, then we are definitely referring it to the cognition level, okay. And I think there we have to focus upon, and we should more concentrate upon that, how these cognitive skills or how these study skills may be helpful for the learners, and what are these cognitive skills, what are these learning skills, and how they can be helpful for the distance learners, and how these skills can be inculcated among the distance learners. All these aspects matter a lot. And I think then that's what actually we can discuss upon. And if you have any queries or anything that you would like to discuss related to these skills, or if you have read any of the first block or the second block, if any one of you can unmute and share your experience or ask your questions, so that during our discussion we can address those queries or questions. Any one of you?
Yes, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is it possible for you to share the slides with us?
Yes, definitely. I will share the slides. Meanwhile, can I ask that whether the recordings of these videos are being made available to all of you on the LMS or not yet? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Are are the recording videos being made available on the LMS platform? Can you access the old counseling videos?
yes,
You can. Only thing is that you don't have the PowerPoint slides. That's what you are asking, right?
yes,
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 sir.
no,
Okay.
no,
Yes.
the video available. Only the first available. Some videos are missing.
Okay. Only from the videos you are seeing. But you say that you need the PowerPoint slides also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then let me talk to the administrative people. I couldn't catch hold of them, but meanwhile, I will try, and I will try to get all the email IDs. Otherwise, I will then I will do one thing. If possible, I will put the slides on the course wise. Can you access that on the LMS? Do you have access for each course? 413, 412, 414, something like that?
Yes, sir.
I will
It's not you,
suggest
Mohammed.
because
Hey,
in
blah,
one in one of our courses, a WhatsApp group was created for
Okay,
us.
WhatsApp
So I
group
think
was it?
yes, sir. If a WhatsApp group
hey,
can also be created for this
bueno,
course, then materials can be shared
when you
through the
enjoy the
WhatsApp
airport,
group, sir.
hey, come here. Look at your electrical charge. Say, oh,
Some,
Hana Moko.
yeah, well, I
And then
will
we
try
mama can't say.
to
Then he came to
discuss
me.
about the
And he
creation
pray
of
baby at the
WhatsApp group.
Moko.
Otherwise, what I
I don't
will
want to hear that thing
try
again.
to put
Yes, sir.
the
I don't want to
slides
hear
on the
that thing again.
LMS portal itself, so that every one of you can
Yes, I mean,
access whenever you are.
I don't want to hear that thing again. When you be a mechanic practical assembly. Solo, by you book man,
Yeah, can you mute yourself? Somebody's mic is on mute.
wow, the question is can buy in Fablan. I mean, you know.
Please, friends, can you mute
Hey,
yourself?
even me and Kasakra,
Please,
money
Marshall,
Somebody.
what you are saying, please turn off your mic, please. Marshall, turn off your mic.
It's a request from my side. Please mute yourself.
Hey, when the question is anyway. From Monday, moon me for my house. Umban what the fee.
Oh,
The woman.
can you mute yourself?
What's the need to seem to Otum Kwan Obianto. But Monday knows Otto the Bia
Michael,
Masuma.
can you mute yourself?
Obiama, I'm not joking. Obiano Babachama de Honor.
Dear Michael, can you
Michael,
mute
please mute.
yourself?
Uncle, Bianca Pratica, and I said,
Please, Michael. Please, Michael.
It
Michael, I
seems
beg
it
you.
seems
Please
he's
Maybe
not
mute
okay.
concentrating. It seems he is
Marshall,
not aware
mute
of
your
what is
mic,
happening. If somebody
please.
can remove him,
Oh,
then
Michael,
he can
can you?
rejoin.
Okay, yeah, he has, I think, muted himself. That's what I'm saying. I will try to put the PPTs on LMS so that everyone can have the access. Meanwhile, uh, okay, okay. Then I think, can I share the screen and okay. Just a second. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, sir. It's loading.
It's loading, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Is the slide one visible?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Today we will be, as I said, talking about block 2. We will talk about the development of various skills. Under the skills, as I said, we will be talking about the cognitive skills, study skills, reading, writing skills, communication skills, time management skills, stress management skills. All these skills we will be talking about. Okay, but in the first two units we are talking about the cognitive skills and the study skills as such, because development of study skills among the distance learners is much important. I think someone's mic is on. Can you mute yourself? uh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Then yeah, this is the block 2. Yeah, here one important unit that has been dedicated for problem solving skills under the unit 4. Under that, actually, as distance learners, as ODL learners, maybe we all know that the students or the learners who pursue the courses or programs through open and distance learning institutions are very heterogeneous, and they may be engaged in multifarious activities also. They may be some um, adult learners, they may be on certain jobs, or they may be engaged in some of the activities, and so on. In that sense, they may be facing some problems on their professional career, or as a learners they may be facing some problems related to their studies and all, and they may be having some personal problems, or so on. So in that sense, how can they be able to solve their problems and concentrate more on their studies? That's what actually, and for that, what are the skills they need and how they can acquire these skills? These all things have been discussed under the unit 4. But as we all know, maybe as learners or as individuals, we need certain skills of writing and reading also. Simply reading a text or reading a book may not be sufficient and may not uh, give us the fruitful results. For that, we need certain skills to be developed among ourselves. Similarly, the study skills, because these are the skills which are important for the learners, and the cognitive skills, as we have already talked about, that these skills are related to the knowledge domain, and how these are related to our day-to-day life, how they can be acquired, and what exactly are covering under these cognitive skills. These all things have been discussed in this block. Okay. uh, yeah, if we talk about this block, generally we can say, yeah, mainly our focus is to develop a self-directed learning. Because here we say that the learners are very autonomous and do their independent study or individualized study. For them, actually, we want our learners to be self-dependent, and they should develop certain skills and knowledge so that they can cope with their studies on their own. Okay. um, then definitely about study skills, as I said, and yeah, the basic concepts of reading and writing, and how we can prepare a better piece of writing, maybe while you are writing any assignment response, or while you are doing your term and examination exam papers or something like that. Then how you can prepare better answers by using the time judiciously, and by giving proper language, proper shape, and proper, if you have proper communication skills, then definitely it will be easier on the part that you may produce a good piece of writing. Similarly, the reading is also much important, because when we read something, maybe the study materials, maybe the textbooks, maybe the reference books, but if we read them in a proper way, in a systematic way, then we may gain much, and we may use that material to the maximum extent possible. That's why we would like to add these skills also in the in this particular block. I think somebody wants to admit. Just okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um, Then about discussing the scientific attitude, which exactly we need to be developed among learners that for solving the problems. If we do it in a scientific manner, in a logical manner, in a systematic manner, or we can say that there should be proper reasoning for doing some action, and we should follow some steps also, so that finally we have to reach to the success. Okay. Then under problem solving skills, we will be discussing about the SWOT techniques, or the strengths, opportunities, and weaknesses and threats that we are facing in day to day life and in our studies, and how to cope those threats, and how to come out of those weaknesses that we have, and how we can make the opportunities to use in a better way for ourselves, and how we can identify our strength, and in what way we can proceed further. These all have been discussed under these blocks. Okay, and that will be helpful as a learner and as an individual also in our lives. Then yeah, when we are talking about the cognitive skills, this is the first unit of the block 2, and the objectives, or the main focus of this block, uh, to discuss about the cognitive skills. Actually, we need to understand what are the cognitive skills, and what are the components of these cognitive skills. Then what is the use of this cognition, knowledge, or comprehension, apprehension? When we talk about these things, then what is the use of those things in our teaching learning process? That is more important. And then the when we talk about the cognition, then we are referring, or we are talking about the memory, concentration, and many more issues. In that sense, what type of memory that we are referring, how many types of memories are there, what is the use of memory and concentration in cognition, and how these are related to the distance learners, all these things we will be also talking about in this unit. Then uh, yeah, you must have heard about Bloom's taxonomy, or Professor Anita Priyadarshini must have talked about Bloom's taxonomy in the course of instructional design also. And in that sense, how we are not talking about all the three domains, as I said, the cognitive, or the effective, or psychomotor. Here in this, for this unit, or for talking about the cognitive skills, we are talking about only the first domain, that is the knowledge domain. Then how this knowledge domain be useful for the distance learners in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, and what are the concepts, and what are the things he has talked about the learning, and how these are helpful. These all things we will be talking also. um, then you must have heard about the concept mapping and mind mapping also. These may come in your assignments or examinations also. What exactly you mean by the concept map or mind map, and how these are helpful for the distance learners or for the distance professionals. That way also we will be discussing, because whenever we are planning to do some activity, we have to have an idea about, or we have to have a map in our mind, that how we have to proceed, and what exactly that map, a mind map means, or what exactly that concept map means. That we will be talking in this unit also. Okay. um, then let us talk about the cognitive skills. I think I am audible, right? Am I audible?
Yes, you're
Yes,
audible
sir.
now.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. In between, if you would like to ask any query or raise anything, you can unmute and interrupt me, and you can ask your query also. Okay. Other, I'm. I think in this way, I think we can proceed. And in between, whenever you feel like asking anything, please unmute and ask. Okay. Then we are talking about the cognitive skills. What exactly these cognitive skills? Okay. Um, Cognitive skills are the skills which help the learners to read effectively. Okay, those skills generally help the learners to read effectively, or write passages, or to do some mathematical. Uh, uh, okay. Uh, yeah. Uh, Yeah, they can be able to write the reports, essays, they can prepare good answers, they can do certain numerical calculations, or they can use certain information or data in an effective way. And these all the things cover under the cognitive skills. If anyone have these cognitive skills, then definitely these things they can do very efficiently and very easily also. uh, yeah. Okay. Just someone. um, and communication and ICT skills also come under this cognitive skills, because if we are using any information and communication technology, for that also we need certain knowledge and some brainstorming, which comes from the cognitive skills only. Okay. um, then when we are talking about the cognition means we are talking about the knowledge, or the apprehension, or the comprehension. These are the things that we are referring to. Okay. This cognition may be of two types: presented cognition and the represented cognition. When we are referring to the presented cognition, that means we are talking about the direct objects, or the objects which are present in a directly to us. But when we are talking about the represented cognition, that means we are talking about the memorize certain things, or to recapitulate certain things. That means we are referring to the memory itself. Okay. When you are looking at the objectives directly, that is the presented cognition. Okay. If, for example, if you are seeing my slides and you are thinking something, that may be your presented cognition. But if you are referring it to the earlier block, or if you are referring it to the units that you have read before coming to this class, that is represented cognition, because you are relating it to your memory. Okay, that you have already know or that you have already read before. That is the kind of two cognitions we are talking in this unit. Okay, these are all about the cognitive skills. Then we may talk about the components of cognitive skills. Okay, perception. The first component of the cognitive skill is the perception. Okay, perception, you all must be knowing that if we are uh, as an individual, if we are doing something or if we are coming across any event or any activity or any piece of reading or any piece of writing, then we perceive something. Okay, we think about something, or we get we try to link it, or we can think or we can present it the way we perceive it. Okay, and the way A will perceive, that may not be the same with B also, because as all the five fingers on our finger are not hand are not equal, similarly the perception of all the people may not be equal. That's why we say that how you look at the things is is about the thinking that you have in your mind, that whatever you are thinking about the things, that only you can perceive. Okay, and the things may be different, but your way of looking at them depends on your mentality or on your psychological process and your state of mind and your understanding of that particular object. Okay, the angle of perception may be different from different persons. That's why we say that here your knowledge, your cognition matters a lot. If you have true knowledge or if you have proper knowledge, then definitely that will help you to give you better perception about any object. Otherwise what will happen is that if we have the half knowledge, or if we don't have any knowledge about that, we may think a good thing as a bad one, or a bad thing as a good one also. That is the kind of perception. That's why perception is an important concept or an important component of the cognition itself. Then memory. When we talk about the memory, that means remembering something, uh, or remembering maybe about an event, or about a date, or about the date of submission of the assignments, or a date of the joining, then date of for appearing the term and theory examination. These are the many things that the learners in open and distance education are coming across all the days. Okay, they may need to memorize many things. For example, if we ask that discuss various components of cognitive cognition, then they have to even memorize that what are the components that constitute the cognition or cognitive skills. They have to remember that perception, memory, and all the components that we are going to discuss now. For that, actually they need certain memory also. The memory may be of different types. That may be short term memory, long term memory, receptive memory, rote memory, semantic memory, abstract memory. Many these are the various types of memory also there, because when we are talking about the short term memory, that may be of maybe for a say minute or okay, then we may call it a short-term memory, maybe of a few time or only for 1 minute or 2 minutes things we are referring it. But when we are talking about the long-term memory, that may be few years ago or some learning that had taken place before, and we are correlating it, some of the historical events or some of the processes that we have learned before. Those kind of things, we if we memorize and try to correlate with the present learning, these all things are coming under the long term memory. Similarly, the receptive memory, the physical posture and physical attributes of an object, that comes under the receptive memory. Then we may refer it to the other kind of memory, semantic memory. When we talk about, that is the about the world or about the universe that we are referring. These are the kind of memory also we are studying in this unit. And how these memories can be helpful for the distance learners in their studies, that is more important. Okay. uh, yeah, then logical thinking, because when we think about something in a logical way, in a systematic way, then that definitely will give us good results also. We cannot think in a reverse way, or we cannot mix up our thinking. We have to think in a logical way, whether we are going in a right direction or not, whether which action has to be done first. For example, if you are writing any examination, you have to begin with your introduction, then body, then conclusion, then maybe about the references and glossary or main terminology that you have discussed under that. And these are the sequencing. In that way, we may talk about something in a logical way. That is more important when our knowledge or cognition is related to. Then concentration again, when we try to concentrate upon something, that means giving attention or paying attention towards something. That concentration also differs from one person to another. One may concentrate for longer time, one may not concentrate for that much time. But as learners or as students, everyone needs to concentrate, develop some sort of concentration for the sake of cognition or the knowledge development. Then then when we talk about this kind of concentration, the concentration also may be of various types. For example, we can say that at a time we may be able to concentrate only one thing, okay, only on one object or one aspect one can concentrate. But if uh, needed, one has to concentrate on many things also. For example, we if we are trying to catch a train, or if we are trying to catch a bus or something like that, then you may concentrate, you may need to concentrate on many things. That you have to carry your luggage, you have to concentrate that the particular timing, and when the time that is left for the boarding of the train, where the train or bus is standing, where it is coming, and you have to concentrate upon the fellow passengers also. And you have to take care of many things, and you have to concentrate that time maybe on many aspects. But another concentration, when we are talking about, you may concentrate or you may have many things before you, but you have to filter that irrelevant things. If somebody is coming to if you are trying to catch a train, and if somebody is coming towards you and asking you to buy something from him, or if he is selling something, then you may filter that, okay, and you may not concentrate on that aspect. If you concentrate on that aspect, there is a chance that you may leave the train, or you may not be able to catch the train. That is the problem. That's why sometimes we have to filter the events, and which are important and which are not important. The important events that we have to consider, and we have to prioritize. and accordingly the concentration also is much important when we are talking about the knowledge domain or the cognition domain. Then the rational attitude. Okay, then the rational attitude means when you are pursuing any research, or when you are doing any pursuing or approaching any problem, or trying to read something or trying to write something, then you should have an rational attitude for that. Rational means it's a kind of logical thinking kind of thing, and you should have that much we can say that the concentration, the dedication, then its relevance. Okay, why you are doing that, why you are not doing that, or what are the things that you need to do, and when you have to think about. Okay. uh, yeah, what not to do, what to do, all these things matters a lot, and for that actually you should have the rational kind of attitude also. Okay, these are the various components that we are referring to when we are talking about the cognition. Okay. uh, then when we talk about the cognitive skills and distance learning. Okay. Yeah, technologies as cognitive tools. Sometimes what happens is that we are using in open and distance learning education many technologies, maybe the LMS portal, maybe the computer technology, maybe the audio video programs, maybe the mobile phone technology, or any other technology or ICT tools that we are using. We need certain knowledge for that also, and for that we may need these things only: the memory, the concentration, then the rational thinking, logical way of using them. All these things are also important as components of cognition that we will be for example, as distance learners, if you have to appear any exam through the use of computer, then you should have the knowledge that how to open that computer, and how to open that word where you can find the question paper, how you can answer the questions. Okay. These are the things that we have to. Yeah, reading and writing techniques that we will be discussing extensively when we will discuss the unit 3 on reading and writing skills, that how the reading and writing techniques are important, what are the techniques SQ3R, SQ4R, SQ5R, and SQ5RW. Many writing reading skills are there, and how we can develop the writing skills also, that we will be discussing about. But when we are talking in terms of the cognition or cognitive skills, then definitely in under reading and writing also these cognitive skills are very much required, and it has to do with the kind of knowledge that we have. Then developing communication skills. Communication skills means the way you think, the way you present, and the way you would like to so, may we can say that would like to have the conversation or communicate or give the message to others. That depends on your communication skills. For example, if you use proper language and proper wording and proper comprehension, then your message may be very clearly communicated to others. But if you lack those skills, then definitely you may go on explaining page after the page, and you may write 2 3 pages, but out of that you may not be able to communicate what you wanted to uh, say, or what the way you wanted to answer the question. For that you need proper language, proper vocabulary, and proper arrangement of those words, and the kind of points that you would like to communicate. You have to be very precise, and for developing the communication skills also one should have certain uh, qualities and certain knowledge. Okay, and that has to do with the kind of cognition or the cognitive skills that we are talking about. Okay, then we are talking about the mind mapping and the concept mapping. As in the beginning I was referring to that that mind mapping and concept mapping. Okay, um, it is talking about one idea or one concept or one thing that we are referring, but it is presented in a hierarchical or tree format. We can say that it starts from one concept, and it may lead to many concepts and may be linked to many concepts also. Okay, and the sub concepts may be into sub and sub concepts that we can say. For example, we are talking about the cognitive skills. Okay, if you say that you are preparing a mind map, or if you are have in your mind that we are today now talking about the cognitive skills or cognition. Okay, the on cognitive skills or cognition you may have the mind map, but it may be related to the concepts like the components of cognitive skills, then what are the types of cognition, then how these cognitive skills may be related to the distance learners, how to use the technological tools, and what whether these technological uh, tools and in terms of distance learning, do they have any connection with the cognition or with the kind of cognitive skills that we are referring or not. These are the sub concepts, and under that, as we talked about the perception, logical thinking, memory, concentration, these are the sub concepts of the components of cognition also. In this way those may be related. Okay. Mm, these are the things that we are referring to in mind mapping. Okay, for example, if you are talking about a pen, that pen may be related to the reading and writing, and that pen may be you may refer or you may using a paper to write for that, and that may be related to the ink, and again that ink may be green, blue, or black. Okay, and something like that. The concepts may be divided into sub concepts, and the sub concepts may be divided into again the small pieces or sub concepts, as such we can say. um, and and when we are talking about the concept mapping, that means you are talking about for example the national highway or the road, and the towns and the villages around it. It's a kind of comparison that I am giving, that how one concept is related to the other concepts, and how the ideas are related to each other, how to present a particular concept by using different words, terminology, and ideas. That is the concept mapping. Okay, it represents the even relationship between the images, concepts, and the ideas also. One, okay, yeah. Uh, the original word or the concept or the that we are referring to, how the subconcept other concepts are related to that, and how those can be presented. Okay, and the originally with the beginning, that the concept that you are talking about, for example, you are talking about the memory, then what exactly memory means, and what kinds of memories are there, and which memory is meant for what, and how the memory is useful for distance learner. These all are the sub ideas, and the originally all these things or all these concepts are related to the memory as a concept that we are talking about. Okay, this is the concept map and a mind map that we had already talked about, and this is under unit 1 of block 2. Okay, you may refer to these two concepts because these are more important, and we the concept, if you are very clear about your concept mapping and mind mapping, then when you write some assignment responses, or when you try to write your answers for the term and theory examinations, then definitely you can be able to present the your knowledge, your skills in a systematic way, also in a meaningful way. That's what we are talking about, and that's why we have provided you the concepts like this concept mapping and mind mapping. Okay, in this way the learning becomes an unique phenomenon also, because here ultimately our aim is to uh, create a better learning environment and the learning skills among the distance learners, that how they can acquire these skills to have or to do better in their study. Okay. Then under the summary we can say that when we are talking about the unit 1 that we have talked about for some time, we can say that memory maybe are of 5 types, as I already said, just to recapitulate the things that we have discussed. Okay, short term memory, long term memory, receptive memory. Okay, sequential memory, yes, sequential memory, that means if we are talking about any event systematically, that when I was of 5 years this has happened, when I was of 10 years this incident had happened, when I was of 12 years this event had happened. These all are the sequential memory. Okay, after 411, 412, then 413, then 414, these are the sequences that you are talking about. Okay, after which unit comes, and after which course you have to read, and these all you are doing in a sequential manner. Okay, and concentration, as I have already talked about 3 types of concentration. Okay, uh, that I have already talked, that how to concentrate on one thing or one particular thing, and how to concentrate on multiple things at a time, and how to filter the irrelevant information from the things. Okay, and these are the 3 types of concentration. And our goal or our aim is to focus on a particular thing or particular work that we are doing, or any activity that we are doing. Okay, to adhere your concentration or to improve your concentration, what one can do, that is more important. Okay, uh, ensure understanding and retain focused attention, and then remain all these things that you all know that for improving our concentration, what we need to do, we may need to focus on certain things, we need to learn certain things. Okay, good procedures into habits, and we may reward ourselves that after doing something or after getting some achievements, we can even give ourselves some reward kind of things. Okay. um, Under Bloom's taxonomy, as I was talking about, the revised Bloom's taxonomy, the six things that has covered under that is that remembering, then understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Okay, these things you may get in unit 1 of block 2. You please go through the materials and try to discuss or learn these concepts also, the concept mapping, the mind mapping, the components of cognition, then Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. Okay, okay, these are the things that you need to learn under this unit. This is all about the unit 1 of block 2. Now we will be moving to the study skills, that is the unit 2 of this block. Okay. Do
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Can you please just rephrase on the mind mapping, just in phrasing, a summary of mind mapping?
Mind mapping. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay. I will do that. Just a minute. Yeah. In mind mapping, okay, when we are mind mapping is generally presented in a hierarchical and tree format. Okay, here the main concept is divided into sub concepts, and the sub concepts are again divided into the tiny concepts or something like that. Okay, if you are talking or if you are referring to a particular unit of particular block, okay, the way the courses are divided into blocks, and the blocks are divided into units, the units are again divided into sections, and the sections are again divided into subsections, and the subsections are also maybe discussed in several points, maybe some bold A B C D or 1 2 3 4, something like that. The this is the kind of hierarchical structure or the tree format that we are referring to, that how particular concepts are related to the other concepts or the sub concepts, that is called the mind mapping. Or broadly you are referring to one thing and how that is related to the sub concepts, and again each sub concept is related to the small sub concepts, we can say. That is what actually mind mapping is. Okay. I think, is it clear now?
Yes, sir. It is clear. Thank you.
Okay. Any other? Yes. Uh, Friends, can we move ahead?
Yes, sir, you can move again.
Okay. Um, Somebody's mic is on, I think. My voice is echoing. Okay. The unit 2 after discussing the cognitive skills, we may talk about the study skills. That is the unit 2 of block 2. Okay. When we are talking about the study skills, actually, as such, there is no clear cut definition which has been given for study skills. You all know that from our childhood, that many even our parents or the teachers in the school or at the family level all talk about that when to study and what to study. Okay. Uh, that when you have to study and what you have to study, but how you will study, that how part is always missing, and that is dependent on the learners themselves. Okay. Why we are saying is that what content you have to study, definitely the institutions may provide you the materials or may give you the syllabus and some sort of videos, audios, and all these things. And when you have to study, they may say that these are the class timings, these are the counseling timings, these are the schedule on which you have to follow, the submission of assignments, appearing the comment. These are all the things may be scheduled, but how to study, how to go through those materials, and how to learn the things, how to get knowledge, how to develop skills, these things may not be talked in a clear cut manner. And that as learners, the study habits also may differ from one person to the other, and each one of us as learners may have different learning styles, may have different tastes, may have different learning patterns. All these may differ from one person to the other. Okay. These may be called as different aptitudes. Okay. um, we may say that these study skills may enhance the learning of the learners. Okay. And that these study skills make one learner much efficient, and an effective learning takes place. That's what we can say, that that's why the study skills are much important in open and distance learning education. Okay. The when we talk about the learning outcomes or the objectives of this particular unit, then we may say that uh, how to obviously to discuss the meaning and definition of study skills, then importance and significance of these skills, then adopt the best methods that how our study skills can be enhanced. Okay. um, how to enhance the ability and to become more efficient and more efficient learners, or how to enhance our learning. These are the uh, main goal or objectives of this unit. And more or less, as distance learners, how these skills may be inculcated among the distance learners, and how these things can be helpful for the open and distance education system as such, and for the learners who are pursuing various courses and programs through this mode are much important. And how to become good communicator, and how to manage our study time, and how to manage our stress. These are the some aspects or some skills that we will be talking in another maybe few minutes, when we will be discussing this unit in a broader way. Then, when we talk about the need and importance of study skills, we can say to reach the optimum level by using his or her um, okay, by using one's own effort, that how one can reach to the optimum level by using one's own effort. That may be when you are writing something, when you are reading something, when you are presenting something, when you are communicating something, when you are using your time for any activity or something. That means you are giving your best effort, and by through that you have to reach to the maximum level or the optimum level. Okay. um, then if we compare the studying at school and studying in higher education, studying at a higher education level, definitely you may feel the difference. Okay, in higher education what happens is that we say that an active study is needed, the independent study or self-directed study is needed on the part of learners. At the school level what happens is that the teachers may do the spoon feeding, or they may be after the children, that to remember some, to get them remember something, or to ask them again and again the same concept, or to do the small things again and again, so that they can uh, do their learning. But in higher education, when the concepts, when the things become more and more, and they have to cover a lot of things or a lot of syllabus in their studies, that time happens is that the learners have to be the self-directed or self-motivated, or the independent learners or the autonomous learners. Here the study skills matters a lot, and that's why they are more important also. As I said, independent learning becomes more difficult when they do not have any idea about the study skills. Okay. um, when we have the systematic way of if we have the knowledge about the study skills, and if we have the study skills and the efficiency that we are talking about among the distance learners, then they may get enough time, okay, to complete any particular task, or they will not have any stress in their lives, and they can manage many events more efficiently and more comfortably also. Okay. This is what the significance of these study skills that we are talking about. Okay. Then study the skills or building good habits. Okay. When we build certain good habits, that definitely be giving us, and that will be helpful to have some good skills also among ourselves. Okay. Then what, when we talk about building good habits, or building or acquiring some study skills, what exactly we need to do as learners, that's what we have to focus upon, and we should know also. Okay. We have to prepare a schedule. See, if you are going to perform any task or any activity, for that what you need, you need to prepare a schedule first, that on what time you will do what activity, and on what time you have to reach where, on what time you will have to submit your assignments, on what day you have to uh, go for the counseling, on what day you have to fill the examination form, and when you have to appear the examinations, and when you can do your revision, and all these things you have to prepare a schedule, and accordingly you may devote that time for your studies as per your requirement. For example, if you prepare a schedule that from 3 to 4 I will study one course, from 4 to 5 I may study another course, something. If you have prepared that schedule, you have to adhere to the schedule and do your reading or do your studies also, so that at the end you will not be panic, and at the end you will not face any sort of difficulty. And after, if you follow your schedule properly, then you will see that at the end definitely you will get success also, and you will not feel any burden upon yourself. Then when to study, okay, this is more important, as I was discussing in the beginning, that when to study. Because maybe, as I said, in open and distance learners, are very heterogeneous, and they may be engaged in multifarious activities. Some of maybe on the job, some of maybe housewives, some of maybe the maybe some physically challenged persons, or some maybe engaged in any kind of the other activities, we can say. But for them, when to study, that they have to decide. As learners, you may decide. If you are working, and if you have to provide time for your employer institution from 10 to 5 or 10 to 6 something in the day, then you may prepare yourself that no, after reaching at home, maybe around 8 p.m., I will study, I will sit and study for 2 hours from 8 to 10. If you make a timetable and follow the routine, and do your studies, then definitely that will be helpful as learners. And accordingly, if somebody is doing any night job or doing any night work, then he or she may need some time to sleep in the morning, or in the afternoon he or she may study. But as learners, or as an individual, as I know that what is my lifestyle and what is my work structure, and where I I can, when I can give time for my studies, accordingly I have to plan the things. And for that, when to study in open and distance education is very flexible when in terms of time and schedule. And maybe if you are traveling to some places by bus or by train, even I have seen that the learners are carrying their materials and printouts in their hands, and while moving through the train, or when they are sitting and going somewhere, if the time is half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, within that time period only they study some pages of their material. That's how they even use the time judiciously. These are the things one has to plan accordingly. Okay. um, where to study, that I have covered. That if you are comfortable in a single room, silent room, where you don't want anybody to disturb you, that's well and fine. That way you can study. Otherwise, if you are comfortable to study in a crowded place, if you can concentrate in your study, that is also good. If you don't want to watch TV and other entertaining media, and you would like to devote more time on your studies, that is also possible. That you may anywhere, you may sit on a seesaw and you can study. You may sit on while music listening, listening music also. Some persons, or some students, they do some mathematics and they practice some activities, they study. This all depends on the learners themselves, that the way they would like to learn, they can learn. They have to decide, but they have to engage themselves in the process of teaching learning process. Okay. um, then the thinking skills. See, if you keep on thinking about something, because once you go through the material, if you read a particular unit, then you may discuss, you may think about the concepts that have been taught inside the unit, so that you can add, or you can argue those concepts, or you can recapitulate the concept that you have read, or you can discuss the advantages, disadvantages, the components, the factors, whatever being taught or whatever being discussed, that you may think and recultivate the your thinking process and mental ability also. Then SQ3R, that is what I was talking about, the reading skills. When we talk about SQ3R, that means survey, questions, read, recite, and review. These are the techniques of reading. We will be talking these techniques in detail when we will be discussing Unit 3, that is on reading and writing skills. Then note taking, that when you are going through a particular unit or a particular course material, then note taking also becomes much important. You have to take the notes simultaneously. You may first time you may read the entire unit, but um, after the doing the reading at once, you may read it again and take the notes of the kind of queries or the questions that you are that are coming to your mind, and the main points that you would like to remember. Those things also you can jot down, and the main points or the main concepts that have been taught inside the unit, that also you may take down under your notes. But that note taking again has to be very legible, and you yourself should understand that what you have written while taking the notes. Because if you only write one or two letters of a word, or if you put some symbols for the words or the concepts, again the second time when you revisit, you may not understand your own writing. That should not be the practice. The handwriting and the note taking should be very clear, and that should even communicate to you that what exactly you have taken note. Okay. Then highlighting the text. When you read or when you go through certain sections and subsections of the content, you may feel that these are the years, these are more important, or these years have to be remembered, or these are the places that have those have to be uh, memorized, or these are the points that one need to focus upon, or that need to I think or we have to prepare our answers based upon these points. If you think like that, then those points or the concepts or the things that you would like to highlight, that you may do it so. And so that when you do the revision work, or when you uh, do the study again, or when you write any responses for your assignments, or when you prepare for the term and examinations, that time your highlighted text will help you or give you some fresh memory, or we can say that that will help you to remember the things in a better way also. Okay. Okay, these are the things that for building good habits or for study skills as distance learners one may need to develop in among themselves. Okay, when we are talking about effective listening, because hearing and listening may be two different things. Okay, you may hear uh, many things and you may forget, but when you listen something, you have to listen very carefully. Okay, and you have to give enough space to the person or the group, that or your teacher or the whomever, so you are communicating or listening. Maybe you are listening to a video, or you are watching a video, or listening to a particular audio, or you are listening to your teacher, or you are listening to your counselor, whomever you are interacting with. You should listen very carefully, and while listening you may also take down few important points that the person is talking about. And if any audio you are listening, or if you are watching any video, that time also the kind of points, that the kind of information they are providing. All these things matter a lot. And for effective listening also, you need certain skills like concentration and note taking, and these are the basic things that you need to uh, okay. Then you may see that what exactly that person wants to communicate. You have to find the meaning, or you have to look for the meaning that one person is talking about. Note taking, I have already talked. Concentration also, I have already talked. And you have to be prepared. Okay. Because if you want to listen, when you are trying, when for example, if you are going to a counseling class, that means you know that you are attending a counseling class. Or if you are going for a to meet a teacher, or if you are going to watch a video or audio, that means you know that what are the activities that you are going to do. For that you have to be prepared, not only physically but also mentally. And you should be able to be in a position to listen to them carefully and make meaning out of that. And you have to concentrate yourself, you have to take notes, and you have to in reply communicate properly. You may ask your queries or doubts, that to be based upon the topics and the activities that you are doing. All these things are more interesting. And one thing is that you have to create interest among yourself for that particular activity or for listening. And you have to focus on the speaker, whoever is speaking. You have to focus on him or her. And you should have that rational for listening also, because without that you cannot concentrate, or you cannot do justice for that. And you cannot one has one is expected not to be judgmental. Okay. For example, if you are listening a teacher, or you before completing his lesson, or before listening to the video, or before watching the video, you sometimes what happens is that we become good judges, and we say, oh, this is the teacher, I don't know what he is going to teach, he doesn't know anything. And he is wastage of time or something like that. Or oh, no, this activity I know, this is nothing new in this video, something like that. We sometimes we make some prejudgmental kind of things about some activities and some lessons, and some teaching learning processes that are not expected by the distance learners, because we have to watch them carefully, and we have to learn if any new things are to learn in that. Okay. Then effective reading. Okay. When we are talking about effective reading, SQ3R, that is survey, questions, read, recite, review. These are the 5 techniques that we are referring to when we are referring to effective reading. That means briefly I will talk about these 5 techniques. Is anybody saying anything?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Hello. Please, I don't know. I don't understand the effective this thing, the SQ3R and SQ4R. I don't understand the answer. I need more
Okay.
explanation.
I will
Thank you.
do it. Okay. Um, Yeah, SQ3R technique that we are discussing. S means survey, Q means questioning, 3 R's that are read, recite, and review. Okay, and this is the one of the most established technique for reading. Survey means surveying the text. If you are reading a book, if you are reading a particular block, or if you are reading a particular unit or a chapter or any piece of article or anything that you are going to read, you first do a survey, that what is the title, what are the things, major things covered under that, what is the content, okay, and what is the structure of that particular thing, and broadly what are the heading, sections, subsections. That is the kind of survey that you are doing. That then you are talking about questioning, that the five types of questions we generally talk about are WH questions: why, whom, how, who, when, where. These are the things that we generally use. That why should I study, how can I study, what is to be studied, who will whom I am going to benefit if I study, or who will teach me this, or where I can study, when I can study. These are many questions that may come into our mind, and we may note, take down the kind of questions that are coming to our mind if we before reading any particular piece of text. Okay, question, that is question, that is questioning, survey, questioning. Then you may read. Okay, after that you may read the text, or read the unit, or read the book, something. Okay, and then you may recite that. After reading the text, you may recapitulate that what you have read inside that particular unit or particular block, that you may recite again. Then you may review it. Okay, that whether the kind of study you have done is has any relevance or not, and what are the points that you need to carry forward, or what are the points that you need to take down, and how those can be helpful in learning what type of concepts. All these things you may review also. These are the five techniques of that are talking and that are talked in SQ3R technique. Okay, under SQ4R technique, and another R is added along with survey, questioning. Then read, reflect. Okay, reflect is added before the recite and review. That you may reflect upon that what you have studied, and that you may correlate with your experiences and the kind of evidences, or the kind of the other things that you have seen in your life, that you can reflect and correlate that. And you may try to analyze the things accordingly. That may be added as another R under SQ4R. Then SQ5R, according along with survey, questioning, read, reflect, you may add another R, that is the fifth R, that is record. Okay, you may record the things also, because when you are writing the questions, or when you are asking yourself some questions, that in this particular block, or in this particular unit, or in this particular material, what I am going to study, then after studying that, if you get any answer to your particular questions, uh, for example, if you what is SQ3R technique. Okay, after seeing this, after surveying the unit, you may find only the heading, that SQ3R technique. In the questioning section, you may write that what is SQ3R technique. But after going through the unit, you may understand that what exactly SQ3R technique is all about, and what is taught in that under that concept. Then after reading the materials, you may be able to answer your own question, that what is SQ3R, that you had written before reading the unit. And after reading the unit, you may write that okay, SQ3R technique stands for this, and survey means this, questioning means this, and accordingly you may prepare the answer also. That is what the record is all about. Okay, then SQ5R technique, when we are talking about, that is survey, questioning, read, reflect, record, and review. These are the things under technique. And SQW5R, that means write. Write is also added under the W. Okay, you may not only record in your brain, you have to write those things also. These are the different techniques of reading. I think the query that you have asked, I have made it very extensive discussion. Even if not if you miss anything, then definitely even in the next counseling session, when we will be talking about the unit 3 and 4, that are also again on reading and writing skills. Under that also again I will touch upon these reading techniques once again for the benefit of all of you. But these are the core areas that we need to focus while discussing the reading techniques. Okay. uh, yeah, effective writing. Okay, effective writing is also more important under study skills. You have to identify the target, exactly for whom you are writing. Are you writing an application to a government officer? Are you writing an answer for a question that has been asked by your tutor or your teacher? Are you writing letter to your friend? Are you writing any essay for a competition? Then you have to identify the target for whom you are writing. That is more important. Okay, then you have to decide the content, what exactly the content that you are going to cover under that particular piece of writing, that you may decide. Then you have to create the outline, that after deciding the content, you may prepare a structure for that. That first should I write the meaning, then definition, then the types, then the nature, then types, then merits, demerits, or the factors, or um, whatever way you would like to discuss. An outline you have to prepare for the writing. Maybe here it may be related to your assignment responses, or it may be related to the answers that you are going to write for the term and theory examination. But you have to prepare an outline for that also. Then you have to structure the content. You should avoid making mistakes, maybe grammatical or the language errors that we are talking. Because if we make any mistakes, spelling mistakes also, if you write THERE there and THEIR there, then both the words have different meanings. Similarly, the words may sound like similar, but their spelling may be different and their meaning may be different. Sometimes what happens is that when we make some silly mistakes, if you would like to communicate something, but at the end it the sentence or the write up that you are preparing, that tells something else. And for that reason also there is a chance that the learning doesn't take place in proper way, or the learners don't get proper marks or proper grades in their answer scripts. These are the problems that happen exactly if we don't if we don't look at our own mistakes and own uh, errors that we generally do. Then you have to proofread. Okay, after writing a particular piece of work, you have to proofread it, or you have to read it again, so that you can know the mistakes that you have done, or the things that you have missed out, that for your own reference you can do it, and you may do the corrections also. Okay, These are the things which are needed for effective reading. Then we may talk about the communication skills as such. Okay, the communication skills, when we listen attentively, that we have already talked that for effective listening what is the things that are needed. Then you have to develop the reading habit as such, because the more you read, the more clarity you will get. And whenever you are talking to someone or when you are listening to someone, always try to do your eye contact and concentrate with him or her, so that you will not miss anything, and you will be in focus, or you may focus someone also. And always try to begin with short messages. Don't try to create or write something very complex and very big sentences, and with big jargons and big we can say the compound sentences, and in a complicated manner. Very short messages and in a simple message, in a simple language, you can start your answers and communication, so that it will be very effective also. And don't hesitate to ask questions also. If you have any questions, or if you have any doubts, or if you would like to communicate something with someone else, when you are communicating or when you are engaged in any kind of communication activity, for example in a classroom, or for or or by or through a piece of writing, you can always raise your queries, raise your research oriented points and questions also. We should not hesitate, and we should always try to communicate the messages, the academic messages also. And whenever you get chance, you should speak very clearly and very in a communicative way also. Okay. um, yeah. Identifying vocabulary and identifying your learning styles, because here when we are talking about the improving vocabulary, that means you have to improve. As distance learners, they have to improve the vocabulary or the word capability among themselves, and the learning styles also. Here when we talking about the learning styles, from the very beginning I am saying that the way in distance education the learners are heterogeneous, the learning styles are also heterogeneous and very different in nature. There may be there may be learners who would like to learn the things by seeing diagrams, charts, or some videos, or some visual aspects, or some tables, or some images, something like that. Okay. They may learn better if they see something. Those kind of learners are called the visual learners as such, we can say. Then the auditory learning style. The auditory learning style, when we refer it, then we are talking about the learners who are engaged, or who would like to learn better, or who may learn better if they hear something, if they listen something. Okay. They may hear an audio, or they may listen uh, some audio messages, and or they may listen someone talking to them, or they may try to learn better in a class way, when a teacher speaks, or when a counselor teaches them. These are the learners who would like to learn better by doing some auditory learning. Okay. Tactile learning style means there are some learners who would like to demonstrate, or who would like to have some hands-on experience, or do some activities. They would like to engage themselves in the learning, so that they can learn better. This is the kind of learning that is called tactile learning. Okay. Then logical style. Then logical style means they are the learners who may learn in a group situation, or in a peer group, or in a discussion forum, or in a classroom situation, because there they may get some debates, discussion, and interaction with others, because the more they discuss, the more they debate, the more they engage themselves in these activities, they learn better. This is the kind of logical learning style. Then the social style, this is again also it's a kind of collaborative kind of thing that we are talking about, because there may be some learners who may learn from the peer group, then the surroundings, then from the classroom, or from the others, and they are not isolated. Okay, they learn better in a group or in the community itself. Okay, then the solitary style, there may be learners who may like to study on their own, maybe sitting in a dark room, maybe in a room peacefully, without any disturbance by others. And if they study on their own, then there is a chance that they may learn better, because they don't want others to interrupt their learning, and they may like to have their learning independently and without any disturbance. These are the solitary learners or learning styles that we are talking about. These are the different kind of learning styles, and as learners you have to identify that what kind of learner you are, and what is your learning style, so that you can devote, or you can improve your learning, and you can study better in your future also. As learners, these are the study skills, or these are the learning styles one has to identify, and accordingly execute for better learning experience or better learning purposes. Okay. Then we may talk about distance teachers and distance learners and teaching learning. Okay. um, uh, as we all know that the distance teachers and learners are at a distance. Okay. St- Study strategies and learning, these all play a vital role. Okay. As we all know that in distance education, the study materials are self-instructional and self-sustained, self-motivating, that we all talk about. uh, and in distance education materials, we however moreover, these are the conjunctives that are being used to give you much experience and much more examples, as such we can say that sometimes we talk something, and at the in the contrast also we say that if this is happening, however this may also be possible, something like that. The examples and the kind of discussion also takes place, and the teachers are always inbuilt into the material, and that's why the learners have to read very slowly and very carefully, and have a feel that the teachers are always sitting with them and teaching them. Okay. Then the time management that we are talking about, the first one is set a goal. Always we should have a goal in our mind, that what exactly we would like to achieve. Then we have to prioritize the work or the thing, activity that we are going to do, and we have to have a proper planning also. Then we should not put up the work, or we should not keep on keep on doing, matlab, pending the work, or putting the work up, and holding it for again and again, that we should not have, and we always should try to complete the work on time. Then as I said, the preparing a timetable and schedule will definitely help you to manage your time in a better way. And whenever is not possible for you to do something, you should learn to even say no also. Sometimes what happens is that we cannot say no, and we do always say yes to all, and at the end of the day we even are not able to complete the work, or or do the work. But that's why we should also learn to say no if we cannot do a particular piece of work. Okay. uh, then this unit, in this summary, we can say, okay, that okay, by improving the vocabulary, by knowing one's own learning styles, then how to manage time in a better way, and developing listening skills, by developing communication skills, all these things become more important. And if we, as distance learners, if we follow all these things in a holistic manner, then definitely there is a chance that the teaching learning will take place in a better way, and the learning can be enhanced on the learner's part also. They can have a better experience, and whenever the learners would like to communicate something, or whenever they try to prepare any assignment responses or write term and examinations, or whenever they would like to do their studies or enroll for any particular course or program, or if they follow all these techniques and the small things, but if they keep on practicing these things, then definitely this will enhance their study skills, reading skills, writing skills, cognitive skills, and ultimately these all skills will help the learners in enhancing the learning. And at the end of the day, they will become the good individuals and successful individuals, and they can have the good habits also, and they can be good communicators, good listeners, good orators, good teachers, good writers, good readers. See, these are the basic things that one has to develop in his or her life. That's why in among distance learners, we always would like to inculcate all these kind of skills through learning itself. Okay, this is all about the two units that we had talked today. Okay. This is all about the slides that we had talked today. And now, I think now I'm uh, yeah. Now I have stopped presenting, and the time is already off. And the next class on 22nd of this month, we will be discussing about the third and fourth unit. Those are on reading, writing, and problem solving skill. Okay, but my request to all of you, that please go through the first block and second block and come prepared with some of the queries, so that we can at least discuss some of your queries, and that will really benefit you. Is it okay for all of you?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We love you too.
It's already your 2 hours time has already been I think over. And all the best, and try to concentrate on your studies, and please come by reading. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So much.
Okay, yeah, now you can
So
yeah,
thank
you
you. We
can.
Thank you,
appreciate your
sir.
knowledge and skills. God bless you, sir.
Have a wonderful day, sir.
We are grateful, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.